Hello everybody, Magic here. I'm going to be doing some more casting tonight, and we are going to be featuring PrAeToR, part of the Nocturnal Gamers team. Very good, excellent team. Only accepts the best of the best kind of players. You know, it's very exclusive. It's not even all that many people. So, without further ado, let's jump into these games. I do have 3 games. Actually, I have 4 games for you today that I'm going to go through one by one. There's actually 5 games, but some of them are kind of long, so we're not gonna get to the 5th one, and it's pretty much the 5th one's just a practice game anyways. It's not even a big deal. So anyways, let's jump right into these. Let's see, make sure everything is set. Alright, looks everything's like good. And alright, so we have Legion spawning at the bottom right here as our yellow Protoss. And it looks like he's just going to be happily mining away, and we have PrAeToR playing as Terran at the top left, also known as the green player, and it is Terran against Protoss on Shakura's Plateau. So, you know, just a little bit about the map. You know, I'm sure everyone's very familiar with it, but just in case you are not, you know, this is the MLG version. You do have the supply depots at the bottom of that ramp to make sure there's no, like, 3 pylon choke, you know, with cannons behind it. That's always annoying. Not so much for Terran, but against Zerg. That's not really going to come up here, obviously. Terran can, of course, bunker there as well, and that sucks for Zerg as well. So it's really more of a Zerg feature, you know, to make it so it's not, you know, like ridiculous for Zerg to have to deal with that kind of thing. But it does kind of prevent certain builds, like you can't put a barracks and supply depot down here, just because that supply depot's in the way. And I mean, it just means you have to wall in at the top of your ramp here, so that's what PrAeToR is going to be doing here, looks like. And wow, there's actually already a very fast scouting probe from Mr. Legion, and he's going to come right, excuse me, right up here, see that barracks go down, possibly steal gas. We'll see what he does. You know, if you steal gas, it just delays things a little bit, not so much as you might think, but a little bit, you know, enough for it to really matter, but not enough for it to, like, you know, change the game entirely. So, I mean, of course, that's Blizzard's doing. You know, Blizzard's very awesome about that kind of balance, making sure that each race is just so good at that. I mean, they all have like their little things that they can do to hurt their opponent, but not really like so it kills them or anything. You know, so you know, just a balance thing that, you know, I think a lot of people don't really appreciate the balance that Blizzard has. You know, there is certain imbalances, you know, that I would say that there are, but I mean, they're, you know, as you know, considering how far they've gone and what they have, it's actually a really good, straightforward, balanced game. You know, they have to balance 3 races, and making a certain kind of gameplay, it's not very easy. So anyways, it looks like this probe's actually taking quite a bit of damage here, down to 10 hit points, and this SV kind of keeping up the chase here. He is kind of lost on the, he did lose a couple of hit points there, but looks like he's going to be just fine, returning back to build some more stuff in his home. Meanwhile, it looks like Legion is doing a fairly fast expansion here. He does have 2 gateways going up at the same time. This is pretty much a safe way to do a fast expansion. You can't really go just gateway gateway cybernetics. You just won't have enough units out to defend it if Terran does push. So that two gateway play here is going to help him get up enough zealots to help defend against any kind of early pressure. Now, of course, if PrAeToR goes all in, he could still be in a lot of trouble depending on how good the micro is and whatnot. You know, you can kite zealots pretty easily, but you know, we'll see if you know, PrAeToR decides to go in there or not. Meanwhile, it does look like he is getting his gases now. He's going to be probably putting down, yep, there's that Cybernetics going down. And, well, for now it looks like he's not quite going to be pumping out some Zealots, enough money to. Just going to be cranking out some probes. Okay, there's that first Zealot coming out, as well as some more probes. And meanwhile, it does look like PrAeToR is going to be expanding. He does have a commander going up, and 2 more barracks on the way. So, you know, this is kind of like the same thing for Terran as the 2 gateways. You need to get up a bunch of barracks early on. You can't really tech up the starport while you're getting the command center unless it's like a huge map, you know, and you have enough guys to defend. You know, maybe you lay down some pressure with some Hellions or something like that, then you can get away with it. But this is the safer way to do it, you know, risk-free. You know, get your guys out from your barracks while getting up that command center, and even throw down a bunker just in case. So, gonna feel pretty safe here, so yeah, right now this command center is probably not going to be lifted up and put at the natural, just going to be producing some mules and SCVs in the main here, and then going to be lowered down there maybe around like the 6 minutes, well, maybe more like the 7-minute mark. We'll see when he does it exactly, if he tries to get away with doing it a little bit sooner, or if he plays a little bit safer and decides to get a little bit later. But yeah, right now it's starting to look like it's going to be a big macro game. You know, this is a pretty easily defended spot at your natural here. You know, the ramp is not huge or anything like that. A couple sentries can force field all day long, and you can't really get in there. Likewise for Terran, you know, bunkers are pretty hard to take out, so I mean, you can repair them pretty easily. And the repair actually really darn fast, so it's really hard to bust into a Terran base, whether you're PrAeToR or Zerg. So I do wonder what kind of tech these players are going to be going a little bit later on. It looks like right now just an engineering bay going down for PrAeToR, going to be getting up some good upgrades for his Marines and Marauders, and as well as the stims going down at the same time. Going to be able to throw down some pressure, you know, once it gets to that expansion, you can put down some pressure with that stim and possibly a +1 upgrade, and just do a good timing attack like that. So we'll see when he decides to get okay, so the plus upgrade is going on now. But yeah, once he lowers that command center down, we'll see what he decides to do after that. And okay, so Legion here is going to go and get a Twilight Council, going to be possibly getting some upgrades as well. Looks like no Forge yet, but I believe he's probably going to be getting one somewhat soon. Or okay, no, he's going Dark Templar. Okay, this totally I kind of expected him to play a little bit more standardly, but you know, Dark Templar are a good way to go into the mid game. You know, you kind of zone the map a little bit, force his Terran, get up to starport. Maybe you can kill off some SCVs with that as well. So I mean, it is a pretty safe way to kind of control the map while throwing up another expansion. So we'll see if Legion throws down another expansion, or if he uses that time to get some more tech, maybe a +1 upgrade, possibly. Okay, so he's going to be going to Robo as well. So okay, he's not going to be getting that plus upgrade at all, not yet anyway. Just going to go for that robotics facility, get an observer and possibly some immortals. You know, immortals are going to be pretty good in this matchup now after that patch. You know, with that +1 range, you know, does help out quite a bit against Marauders and whatnot. They don't have to get super close to those Marines, and they can kind of hide in the back a little bit while still doing some good damage. So, anyways, 2 bunkers just finishing up here from PrAeToR. Going to be defending against pretty much everything pretty easily. Meanwhile, there is a probe being sent out. Going to be placing a couple of pylons back here. Going to make sure that's, well, you know, you can always use them later on. You know, it's good to have pylons back there. You can always warp in some guys and threaten the third once it does go down, if there's a third here. Maybe it's going to be a fourth. Who knows? You know, it's always just good to have pylons around the map. You know, if you think about it, you know, if you lose a pylon, sure, it sucks. You possibly get supply blocked. You know, lose that money. But, you know, considering the alternative with not being able to bust into a third here, because if there's a couple of bunkers here, you know, or something like that, or a couple of tanks, you know, it's not very easy to get in here. But if you come in from the backside, it is kind of pretty awesome. You know, you just say, hey man, I'm already here. I don't have to go buy your defenses. I can just kill off your workers, and that'll be it. Anyways, looks like the first Dark Templar is in the Terran base now. Looks like these units are on hold position. This Dark Templar is going to be forced to go around this bunker. And now the SV killing goes. 1 kill there. Looks like the mule is being targeted. The mule does go down, and well, there's a scan. Looks like this Dark Templar is going to be killed off. And also at the same time, you know, these Dark Templars, they force the scan, meaning there's going to be less mules on the battlefield, meaning, you know, you're going to not have as much money for Marines and whatnot that can kill your immortals and all that. So anyways, a couple more Dark Templar being warped in here. Looks like he is going to be going immortals. Going to be getting those out in due time, and double forge going down, so he's going to be getting those plus upgrades soon. And wow, okay, so PrAeToR is building a nuke. This is something that I know I haven't seen in a while. You know, players don't really go nuke. I don't know if that's like a new trend now where people are just starting to go nuke, but I like this decision. You know, play around with it a little bit. You know, maybe it didn't work so well when StarCraft 2 first came out, but maybe with the strategies nowadays, maybe it works really well. So, you know, and maybe you'll just use it really well. Where is that Dark Templar? Oh, he's in the main. There's some Zealots in the main here. I totally kind of missed it, but there's a Warp Prism back here, kind of just warping in guys left and right. And well, he's going to be forced to scan once again. And there's that scan. But SVs were lost. Let's look at the lost tab really quick. What is it? I always forget I'm such a bad caster. Where is it? Oh, it's R. That's right. Okay, so 1 worker killed for PrAeToR, but he lost 13. You know, he's lost 13 SCVs during all this. You know, he lost a couple here, and then he just lost a couple with that Warp Prism. And now he's pretty much forced to make these missile turrets in the back of his base now. You gotta have some kind of vision, supply depots work, but at the same time, missile turrets can kill off War Prisms, and this War Prism is in danger. Apparently he's gonna go around and be like, hey, you know what? Okay, you're there, I'm gonna be over there then. But looks like there are a couple of Marines to intercept that, make sure it doesn't land anywhere. Meanwhile, there's a big push in the center here. It looks like a bunch of Marauders and Marines. They do have the +1 attack, +1 armor. Meanwhile, Legion is expanding, so his army might be a little bit small here. Actually, it is definitely a little bit small here. But he does have a lot of sentries. Yeah, a lot of sentries with it to throw down those force fields. But the nuke is going to land, and he's possibly going to be taking some heavy damage here. Well, not really, because his units just kind of back out and say, you know what? Fine, I'll just go over here, and you're not going to hit me. Oh man, a couple of sentries going to get hit for nothing. Oh well. Well, this one still survived. He did throw down a couple of force fields before being taken out, but there are a lot of Marauders here. But again, there's a big Terran force here, a lot of Marines here. Marines are just so good against Marauders, and against Immortals, I should say. With Marauders backing them up, they don't do so bad either. And well, it looks like Legion here is going to be in a lot of trouble. There are a lot of Marines still alive after that. There's a couple of Zealots in there now. They do have the charge. They did charge forward, but with all this stim, it doesn't have any medevacs to heal them up, so they are going to be dying. Here and there, but it looks like he's going to be able to take out this Nexus in the meantime. Meanwhile, it looks like there is no attack whatsoever in the main of PrAeToR. I always want to check because sometimes I do miss it on my minimap. A little tiny yellow dot. It's hard to find. But anyways, looks like the pylons are being targeted now, but the Dark Templar are going to be cleaning it up. And well, PrAeToR might think he's kind of swinging way ahead right now after killing that off, but Legion does have a backup Nexus here. That's something that I just started doing. Like, once I see that my hatchery's probably going to be going down, I throw down another one somewhere else and say, you know what, I'm just going to transfer my drones and be alright. And, well, there was the transfer, and we'll see his re-expansion go up, I believe, when he gets that 400 minerals. Legion's just kind of sitting back on a Colossus and a couple of Dark Templar. Oh, nope, it's going to be an Archon. No Dark Templar for him any longer, it looks like. Maybe a couple of drops here and there with them, but I think the main army going to be mostly Archons from here on out. It's Archons and Zealots. Pretty good combination. Some people don't think it really works. I think it still works. You've got to do it quite, just right. You got to have enough expansions to support a lot of Zealots, because otherwise your Zealot count is just not going to be enough to support your Archons, and they're just going to melt away in front of that Marine Marauder count, and it just won't be enough. So, well, actually, yeah, the Archon and the Colossus take up like the exact same amount of space, it looks like. So, well, not exactly, but pretty close. That seems like an interesting combination. Not that you can really afford it. You need like a ton of bases for a ton of gas, but just something I thought of, I guess, just now. Anyways, looks like a Templar Archive is coming up in the back here. Gonna be getting some High Templar in due time. And I'm really surprised that PrAeToR is not expanded. Does he have a command center going up somewhere? Nope. Alright, so he's probably, he's pretty much all in at this point. 2 base all in. It's 16, 17 minutes into the game. You don't have another command center being built. You don't have another one going up. And so, I believe he's just going to be going in there with another attack, maybe throw it on the command center then, when he's laying down that pressure. I just feel like he could have laid it down while he was building up his first force to attack. Once he sent his first force out to attack, and then started building up his second force, after it went down, of course. So, that way you would have your command center already up, you'd be producing more SVs, you'd have more income, and you'd be able to produce more guys around this time, But, okay, well, there's another Dark Templar in the main here, coming right up to those SVs. Nope, he's going to go up to that tech lab, possibly take it out, and that is going to be somewhat crucial. This Raven, if he completes, he is definitely going to complete, but if he didn't complete, that would be a big issue. And, well, PrAeToR does not even have to scan. Raven came out in the right amount of time, but that tech lab looks like he is going to be burning down. Is there going to be an SV to repair that thing? Alright, apparently not in time. A little bit slow on the draw there, Mr. PrAeToR, but it looks like there's command center going up now, so I believe he's going to be pushing out. Here's that. Well, there's a Raven, there is a Viking, and there is a whole lot of Marines and Marauders. We'll see if Legion